Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Professor Rolfe, I have a question for you. What are the qualifications for placing a species on the endangered species list?
The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service or the National Marine Fisheries Service must determine, based on the best science available, that the species meets the definition of threatened or endangered under the statute.
Okay, so I recently read an article, and I wish now that I would have copied it and kept the information with me, but it was on the eastern diamondback rattlesnake that was being considered for placement on the list, and it was specifically because of it was being harassed by individuals and people, not because there wasn't a plethora of them available throughout the areas where they live, but because of how they were being treated by humans. Is this a qualification that will allow a species to be listed on the list?
Well, to the extent that human activities are harassing or harming the species such that they face potential extinction, yes, it's a factor that should be considered.
Does anyone else on this panel would like to weigh in on a topic like that where a decision can be made on activities in an area that can add a new species to the list? Mr. Holsinger?
The best available science has, as a standard, has received a great deal of scrutiny. We've seen many cases where we believe the agency is making decisions that are actually contrary to the best available science. And listings in our state, the Preble's meadow jumping mouse is a great example. The agency biologists say that no one can tell the Preble's meadow jumping mouse from another meadow jumping mouse unless you actually kill it and measure the inside of its cranium. So we've gotten to levels of absurdity with these things, and it's time to set that right.
Yeah, that was how I felt after reading that article. Well, thank you for your clarification on that. And Commissioner, I have a question for you. I understand that the Western States Land Commissioners Association, which includes Texas and 22 other states, including my home state of South Dakota, passed a resolution earlier this year that will raise concerns about the mega settlements between fish and wildlife. And would you please explain that resolution and the goals?
Well, there's 23 states that we have a convention every summer and every fall, 23 states. And by the way, the president, I think the current president is Jared Johnson, the elected commissioner of public lands from the great state of South Dakota. And the concern was across the board, even those who consider themselves green, and, you know, the commissioner from New Mexico, the commissioner from other states who are of a different party than we all realize that what we have today, it's not working. And I think, unanimously passed a resolution to have someone take a look at the ESA and how it's working, because it's not.
Do you think a group such as this could make much better decisions for their local states and areas than people at the federal government level that are looking at it from a much more distant perspective?
Absolutely, and I don't fault the federal government folks. I don't fault the folks at Fish and Wildlife or NIMS or Secretary Salazar or Undersecretary. They're trying the best they can, but they are hamstrung by a statute that is functional, that is in functional failure at the present time.
Thank you. I appreciate that.